Hi, Yush, can you hear me okay?
Hello,
Hi, can you hear me okay? Can you hear me okay?
am I audible?
You are. I can hear you just fine. Am I on mute? Um, am I on mute? I see Discord responding to me, and I see um, OBS capturing my
Okay.
audio. No, can't hear. Yush can't hear me. Let's turn on the chat, see if anybody else can hear me. Um, Thank you, Shankari. Appreciate that. All right, I'm gonna try to do. I noticed that there was a lot of. Um, oh, okay. Looks like I'm on Beagle 3 today. Um, should have be where I left off. Um, yep, I've got a Zephyr SDK installed. Um, Looks like I've got a MicroPython test build here. So we can look at building local as well as um, building on the what's that thing called, the on the CI on OpenBeagle. And just in case anybody wants a link to the live stream, I know there's a lag compared to Discord. There's the live stream. So hopefully, yeah, that should be live, right, going live right now. So, all right. So we've got an SDK installed. I think I have a virtual environment installed. So, but I don't think that environment includes any of the Zephyr settings. Right, so I didn't put any Zephyr settings here at the bottom.
Uh, you can just do a pip install R.
What should I be wanting to pip install? Oh, you're talking about the requirements?
There is a requirements.txt in the yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember if we finished building. I know this setup script wasn't very good, right? So I know we were messing with that setup script, and it wasn't particularly good. And I think we want to try to reduce this. I think what might be useful is to spend some time trying to actually back out usage of the SDK and use the local tool chains. All right, so we can do something like this. All right, so you can use cross compilers. We just need to make sure it's an R5 capable cross compiler, but we can set the toolchain variant to cross compile. Um, I don't know if this toolchain. I think this probably does support um, R5. Let's install it and ask it. Um, so right now I don't have a toolchain in the path. I had this problem last time, unable to get the clipboard to work for some reason. So it's ARM, no, GCC ARM, EABI none. I also never did figure out how to increase the size of the text in here. Move my Discord screen to the other screen, so. Hi, Drew. Glad you could join us. Please feel free to ask questions. So, I mean, happy to have you direct us on this call. I'm just going to try to kind of do some live working session. I think maybe it's worthwhile to get some sort of maybe produce a virtual package, a virtual Debian package, so we can avoid doing this SDK install. Right, so it's just we can do everything with an apt-get. We'll create a custom package that will pull in these dependencies, yep. So we'll create it. We'll create a Debian package, put in the package feed, so somebody can just apt-get install like whatever Zephyr build environment or whatever. I don't know what we want to call it. Did I? So no GCC ARM EABI none EABI. Okay. So I think the tuple is so it's GCC. It's targeting ARM. It's no OS. That's the none, and then the EABI is the ABI. So do it in that order. None EABI. So I'm gonna see if I can't build the MicroPython this way. It just says we need to set our Zephyr toolchain variant to cross-compile and cross-compile equal to the prefix for the toolchain. So I'm going to set that up here in the activate so that every time I activate this, I get it. So export. Is that right? No, I probably need to put the user bin. ARM non-EABI dash, ARM non-EABI dash, and Zephyr toolchain variant. And I'm not sure how that would go into a package, but maybe we could add some environment variables there in the in the alias. I know that we still want to create a virtual environment, Python virtual environment to handle the pip install for the Python dependencies. So cross-compile. Save that. That should be saved, right? How do you know when the file hasn't been saved? All right, toolchain still.
Yeah, I think it's saved.
You think it failed? Would you say you think it failed?
No. The thing is that YouTube has a delay, so I was saying it's saved.
Oh, it's saved. Okay. I was expecting a star or something to show up in the IDE, Like if I change it, like say that it hasn't been saved, but I don't see any changes like that. I think it's interesting. It seems to be finding some kind of Git. All right. So I've got the tool chain. Let me export these here. Let me just source it. Oh no, it's in the MicroPython test. Oh no, I have two .vnvs, don't I? Yeah, I do. It's the wrong one. I'm going to create a new terminal and source this. So I really want it inside this MicroPython test. I think I'd set it up generically, but we want our installs to be here in the project directory. No paste. Oh, it did paste. All right, great. So start a new terminal. MicroPython test source.v bin activate grep. So we see both of those variables in there. 10-second. That's just over the 10-second delay. Is that just on Discord? I mean, I've got to get rid of Discord. I started installing a BeagleY-button, but the setup for BeagleY-button is a lot more complicated than I expected. But I'm hoping to have BeagleY-button by the next time we chat. And Pete, please feel free to type some guidance
too. I'm about to hear and see everything like around a 10-second delay.
That's insane. All right. So if we look at how we have got things set up, right? So we've got we want to kind of mimic how we're going to build in the CI as much as possible. We kind of want to mimic this setup. All right, so there's a .west there. We moved project. Let me make sure I've got the latest. Sure there's not one. Do our West update, and now we should get both a copy of Zephyr. Yeah, Zephyr's coming up, and we should also have in our Zephyr, right, there should be a modules directory. Oh, here's modules. Yeah, modules lib, and we should see MicroPython. Perfect. All right, so that should have pulled in both of those projects based on this West YAML. All right, so we want to look at that West YAML. So under project. All right, this has got our, looking at the BeagleY-AI fork of Zephyr on the BeagleY-AI dev branch, and then just mainline MicroPython, but we're grabbing from this pull head where the R5 I think this is really just to update the version of Zephyr that can be used, right? And then all the platform support is in here. And I would think that there's a boards file in there, right? So GitHub, MicroPython. Just look at this pull request. You can always hope it got merged. What number is it? It is number 15.
It would be a draft, and it will not get merged, at least.
Oh, it's still marked as draft. Okay. So 15.891. 15.891. All right, and you've got some board files in here. No. Boards, the Beagle Connect Freedom. So no board file for the R5. Do we need a board file for the R5?
Yeah, because R5 is not. No, we should not, since only GPIO is there.
Okay, so no special features. All right, so we've put that in. We've checked it out. So now the next step, right, is to Zephyr export. And that should generate our our CMake config, as well as whatever we need now in the Zephyr scripts. Pip install that -3 shouldn't be necessary, right? So which pip? Let's never trust it. It's our virtual pip. Pip install -r. Oh yeah, Zephyr's going to be under this directory, and requirements base. That should pull in all that we need tool-wise. We can check out the generated Zephyr environment. So Zephyr scripts. Zephyr's, oh, it's just Zephyr environment. There we go. And it should still respect our settings, but this is going to set Zephyr base. That's the big thing I think this is going to do, is set Zephyr base. So source Zephyr environment. Go look at our environment. We should now see, so we're still got our Zephyr toolchain set. There, sets the Zephyr base. So that's where Zephyr is. Anything else interesting in here? Toolchain variant is cross compile, and cross compile itself should be set to the Debian ARM cross toolchain, because we're not building for the native A53s, we're building for the R5. So we wanted to look at some of the capabilities of that. So GCC ARM, let me just do it this way. User bin ARM non-UBI GCC. There's targets. There's a so no, what's it called? There's a way for it to print multi-arch. No, not interesting. Print target help. sysroot. I want to just list off the different architectures that this supports, right? So the variants, right? Because the R variant is different than the M variant in terms of the opcodes. Let's Google it. No, not what actually opcodes, wrong. March. List March options. Oh, there was a short one. Target, help. So GCC target help. Oh, I was going to do that anyway. I mean, I'm sure it knows it, but I just want it to tell me that it knows it. That it knows R5. MR, just specify the name of the target architecture. Yeah, it didn't give it to me like it did here. Target help. Well, that's interesting. Just make a mistake. There we go. So that's a lot of variants. But we've got the V7, making R5 as a V7-R. So this keeps spelling variant differently. This is Clang. Clang looks different. Still in March. And, yeah, it doesn't tell me. Well, Zephyr's gonna know. Anything else before we want to do our first build? I know last time we were rebooting after doing the installs. I think that's where we were kind of at. I think we'd installed one of them. We weren't getting the what's the RP message. So we were going to try to debug RP message. So I'm definitely moving a lot backwards.
Yeah, we weren't getting the RPM message console.
Okay. I don't know why I can't get it to paste, but West build. What's our -P for? Pristine. Okay, that's if we want it. So the dash P, make sure it builds everything, everything over again, clean. And this should track along with what we have up on MicroPython test, right? We should get the same thing, right? So but now we're doing it native, and now we're doing it with a different tool chain, right? So I'm not native. We're doing it on we're doing cross on the A53s with the Debian tool chain. We've got a couple new warnings with the tool chain variant. So instead of using the Zephyr SDK in the CI, we'll select as yes, but minimal lib. We want to use new libc as far as I understand it. It should have selected our right sysroot, and that's not it. This is the wrong sysroot. Yeah, that's the wrong toolchain sysroot. How would it get that? So the CMake config is not right. What? Okay, it looks like we've got a bunch of errors on include files. Probably based on having a bad path. Sysroot path, maybe. We're picking the wrong libc. Looks like these are all pretty standard libraries for coming out of libc. And our scrollback log doesn't go back to where we were looking before. So why would libc get connected? I mean, why would newlib not be connected? So we should get the start of this again. Cancel it. I just want to get past the new lib warning and then cancel so I can look at that. I suspect this has to do with our toolchain selection. So found toolchain cross compile. Did I get to where it found? Yeah, the wrong sysroot. The CMake config is getting into the wrong sysroot. got to the new lib selection, so so now West config. Can't do a board specification. Alright, so the new lib, this is all the implies, the selects, but why can't, what was, so new libc supported, so that might not have been set somehow. But libc ended up yeah, how do I bring up the menu config? Build-t menu config, okay. I didn't see any other notes specifically about using newlib, but I did see that it got installed. Dash cross compiled. Do we have the right CMake? Alright, here's menu config. C library. Okay. So maybe newlib isn't something provided by our toolchain. Let's look at packages, Debian. did we install this package? Yeah. I can't paste. Yeah. Lib new lib. Lib new lib. On ABI. Yep, it's already there. See where it's at. Maybe I need to put it in some type of path, but it's Zephyr tool chain new lib path. That's that page, that's that page. How do you think we would set the path to this? A special handling of that one. Got me. All right. Can we? So it just says external. I don't know where we specify what it is. So build and link features. So there's an option to say which C library we want. Yes, save. So that's putting it into a .config file. Is that hidden? Oh, that's in Zephyr. That's our build directory. I don't like that it's in our build directory. I don't know how to build Zephyr. Yeah, who knows what changed in here with that. External libc, that's all it says. That's all that changed. I can tell. All right. So if we just build without doing pristine. Oh, not config. build. Well, that's building. We can start looking at RP message because we think really it's those. It's going to be the data structures that are missing, and we can compare that to the working binary. OpenAmp is what comes up. Interesting. RP message in the kernel configuration. I wonder if we need to do that. All right. I mean, that's more clear cut in Zephyr using that than I would have thought. Maybe we just need to. Oh no, that's our kernel for. Well, we know that should already be there, right? The RP message TTY, right? We ought to be able to look at zcat proc.
Yeah, that should be since RP message is working with the default firmware.
It's a module. Yeah. Oh, I didn't do -I. Yeah, who knows? But yeah, it was already loaded. All right, our build failed. All about the paths, the include file paths. It no longer warns about newlib not being set up, but I don't know how to move that config, if we need to move that into the project config. Like using an external libc. I don't know why that's part of the. I mean, it shouldn't be part of the project config, right? It should be. That's a build config thing. I don't know. Do we even have a we don't have our own prj config, do we? So we don't have our own project config. All right, so it's not finding int types. So where's the include? So I would think the so when we're looking at our package, right, we should see I don't know, I'm thinking somewhere we're missing a CMake setting. I just used some random. It's interesting that CC13 comes up. Does it suggest any packages? New libdoc. So it depends on new libdev. Where is there a CMake plugin that sets the library path? Standard. So this might not have been installed. Lib standard C++. I'm very open to a more methodical approach. Already installed.
From what I know, all the 3 different libc that Zephyr has are like maintained by Zephyr.
Well, it says newlib is an external. Did not say newlib itself was external. Separate external
Yeah, it's an external Zephyr module, I think. I mean, it's not maintained by them, but similar to MicroPython, I would say.
But how do we? I mean, we've got a newlib implementation. It seems CMake just doesn't know how to find it. I found it interesting though that I didn't find the int types. So where are the include paths? Any? I mean, what sysroot is it finding?
So one thing to note is that the amount of, I guess, libs for cross compiling is dependent on the distro. For example, Fedora cannot cross compile user space programs. It only has enough to compile cross compile kernel.
Okay. You're saying that Debian might not have a full R5 toolchain as part of it. I can tell you though that Zephyr is somehow finding the wrong sys root. That would not be the sys root for this toolchain. So maybe the toolchain isn't really capable enough. No, it's not lib, it's they suspected the sysroot should be in, this is Ubuntu, but it's going to be somewhere in userlib.gcc. So that's Linux. New lib dev. It should be this one, lib standard set none EABI dev. We should have that, right? So I wish I could copy and paste. Lib standard plus plus lib standard C plus plus. Okay, so it's there. So that's where the path should point to. Not Windows. I just want to install a CMake config. I don't want to write one. Right, when it put this stuff in here, right, it's got the Zephyr SDK one here. There's our local. No, that's the main Zephyr. Alright, so Zephyr share, Zephyr package. Yeah. Where did I find this extension? Well, We can play with the variants that we've already built, but I think that we can. I think this tool chain is very doable. I just think we just have to get the CMake, how to get the CMake config in here right to find that include path. So I don't know if there's just a local environment variable I can set for an include path to add an include, just to get it built. I just don't know enough about how this is organized. So let's try to look more at the RP message problem. One of the things I was really confused about is we were able to figure out remote proc 4 should be the right one. Right, but we don't have a dev GTY RP anything. Lib firmware. That should be the same as. So it's not the opt. Right. So if we just J7 to S main. All right, we see it. They're not the same as that one. I think this is the one that we built. Can I download it? Can't paste anything. It stinks. Granted access for this website. Where do I do that even? I don't see that come up. Browser, search for site permissions. Okay, what's that? So how do I get this download link? I could just build with the SDK again. I don't care. Right, let's go back to what works. Opt TI Zephyr firmware. Don't really need to do the update in FRS, so let's just do sudo copy hv Zephyr micropython elf to user lib. Alright. It bothers me that the remote proc, I don't know why it's having challenges to stop the R5 and then get going again, like with the yeah, why remote proc should just having problems starting the R5 makes no sense to me. All right, let's start up Avahi browse and look for Beagle. That's on the USB. Yeah. There it is. Nothing more interesting there. Import machine. Anyway, not much interesting there. Let's you can't close that tab. Just open another one. Can't hit Control T inside of a browser. So yeah, so we want to get one that we built. I guess we can just use the SDK. Since we have the SDK installed, and we can enable the SDK with what's the, do you know the one for the is it just the setup? It seems like there should be one that's because setup I thought would install or something like that.
Setup installs and like sets the correct paths and stuff, I think.
Yeah, but I don't want it to run an install. I just want something that sets the environment. Is there not a script in here that just sets the environment? I don't know why I didn't delete that when it after it installed. What do we do inside the, I mean, I think the environment's already set up inside here. We source Zephyr environment. But because we're using this, the environment variables are probably all set up. Yeah, let's note some other to-dos. No issues listed. Interesting. Still building. What else? Yeah. Yeah, I keep thinking about this one. What else do we have to follow up on here? Create some issues to follow up with the team on. So in the packaging, like the West Flash, I think it's all about the start stop. I think otherwise we can do that for the download. For the source, right? That's one thing. It's, do we put like that? That's the Git. Yeah, we need some type of Git cache or something to do that. The SDK, I think download times, we can definitely include the package. I thought I just made a note here about the tool chain. Did I put it in the wrong one? I did. So it's the getting the cmake config, and do we need to change anything with the package? I thought I had some other things come up today that we wanted to fix. Don't know about the tool chain. The paste buffer. Can put a general planning on.
So wouldn't it be simpler to have the Zephyr SDK for AR64 packaged instead of trying to use the system one?
Don't understand. So why having an R5 package that's like application specific is better than having a distro package? Why wouldn't we just want the distro package toolchain that's targeting R5?
Because even the Zephyr SDK, like upstream SDK, breaks around 6 months or something. So I'm assuming that any distro thing will break.
Why do you think that what they're doing is not generic enough to work with the standard toolchain? I understand, like, it's nice to have the bugs aligned with the toolchain that they're testing on, and that there's some risks there, but from a like Zephyr is going to be easier to use if it works better with external tool chains and the tool chains that you'd be using in the system that you want, and getting issues fixed upstream in those tool chains if there's some issue. I understand that there's a time lag between something maybe being patched for Zephyr. Maybe we should look at what set of patches they're carrying.
So they like the toolchain versions are supposed to work for like a specific Zephyr tag and not for the mainline stuff. So like if we have say BeagleY-AI support in Zephyr 3.8 and we can get it to work with the distro toolchain, then it should always work. But if it might not work with upstream after that.
I agree. Bugs get fixed at different rates, right? And they may carry some different patches. But yeah, it might not be worth it.
So no, I'm not talking about bugs. It's like they can break it uh, because it's not a stable thing.
Why is that not also about bugs? Right. I
Because
mean, they
it's
shouldn't change it if it. I mean,
sometimes
it's a tool chain, right?
regarding enabling some stuff or like removing some previous bug or I guess behavior that they did. Like they maintain a matrix that this version of SDK will work with this tag of Zephyr, but like it's not supposed to always work with every tag of Zephyr for even the same board.
Yeah, but the only reason it wouldn't work is because of bugs, right? But it's about being aligned with bugs. Like if it it could be features, right? You could have some feature that's enabled in it, but they shouldn't be that fluid in terms of what features they're leveraging. I wouldn't think, but I'm okay if we package up the SDK toolchain, but I think we need to put it into a Debian package and not do this install um, from the repo, right? So we should put it into a Debian package. Um, so I'm okay to say that that's the approach. Um,
Yeah, it would be good to have a Debian package. I agree with that.
yeah, Simon did this. So yeah, stop can be written. I don't understand why it would fail. Who can we ask about that? Who would be most knowledgeable on why? I don't know. Let's just. Um, I can't copy, can I? Yeah. I don't know. I think that's an Andre question. Jared might be better, but all right. See how quick it comes back. We can start comparing these ELF files and the symbols in them. Beagle 2.
Maybe you can try to check out the commit before the TI mbox stuff because that's the only major diff I can see from the BeagleY-AI branch.
What's his name? GLNEO. Zephyr. Which one's the... Which ones are you looking at? Oh, you can't see my screen.
The
Sorry.
AI64 testing is the newer one, and I think the original firmware is built against the BeagleY-AI.
I thought we merged in any basic changes, but let's look at the commits on the AI testing branch.
Yes, so the commit does exist, but like after adding support for BeagleY-AI, there's a lot of TI unbox stuff as well.
Which one is selected?
But the base commit for BeagleY-AI support is pretty much the same in both, with some name changes.
Enable inboxes, yes. Console is UART1, so that might be wrong. So let's look at boards, Beagle. Yeah, the console says UART1 on that branch. Is there a blame on this? Yeah, is there a place where that changed? So shell UART.
No, the console was set up as UART1, even in the old branch. The only thing added is the shell UART.
Yeah, so why... and we've got that. But why would you say UART1 if we want the console to be on RP message? I mean, I wish we had Robert. I don't understand what firmware they built, right? That's just annoying. It's just annoying. All right, maybe we should not do these calls without Robert or Andrew on here. This is just pointless wasting of time. All right. Offline. Booting. All right, boot failed. Invalid argument. It's an odd error to give as invalid argument. Zephyr. I want to look at the. Do you know the utility to get the sections out of the elf? Read elf. Looks like a dash S. So 37 sections in the net socket, net, debug, boot start. Let's compare that to opt, TI Zephyr firmware. There's two extra sections. It goes up to, yep, there's a .resource table. And we don't have .resource table. What other section is different? Yep, somehow we're not building with the resource table. Symtab, ARM attributes. Net socket, net debug line. So device states at 14. Net pull buff at 20. So there's also conditional varia. No, that's their send. Mutex area? No, that's the other. What's the other section that's different? Is device states, slab area, Mutex message queue area, 18S sim. Where am I missing? It's in these. 14 is device states, slab, mutex message queue. There's a heap area. Okay, there's no heap area there. Yes, there's two extra sections. I don't know what we might be missing in the linking. I can't hear you anymore, by the way. I don't know if you're speaking anymore. Does whip include anything?
No, I was trying out like locally building and uploading firmware to R5, like different commits, checking out different commits and seeing if any of them work.
I wonder if the AI64 R5 testing has it on there. Like boards, Beagle. Consoles, UART. There's got to be something in the linking to include the resource table. When I was looking at the Zephyr docs, right, they talked about the client sample. These are that's the Linux kernel, and so sample subsystem IPC, open RFC table. Subsystem IPC. Log module. So at one point he'd removed the UART. This has been working for 3 months. Why can't we communicate about how this is
Those
supposed
are
to?
from the MCU R5, not the main R5 which we are trying to use.
Okay. I mean, that was the last change made in that subsystem. Somewhere there has to be something done into the linking. So let me just check the commit logs and look for something in.
I tried using the old BeagleY-AI branch, and RPM message consoles does not seem to work even in that. So maybe MicroPython build this from some other branch.
Yeah, it has to be. There are settings. It's IPC 0 and IPC shared memory. There are definitely settings in the. If you look at the BeagleY overlay, so maybe when they built it, they yeah, maybe it's just a matter of command line configuration of some of these overlay options. I'm not sure. So I don't know how to use the OpenAmp RSC as a module. And if he has a fork of MicroPython, no. I don't know if I just paste this into the mailboxes, but it seems like there should be more in here. So if you look in like the sample subsystem IPC open RSC table, you'll see boards BeagleY. And yeah, there's a whole bunch of the RSC table. I wonder if you just layer in this config, or if I mean, it just talks about how to build the sample. It doesn't talk about how to use the IPC in an application. Like, how do you use a Zephyr subsystem? I mean, the samples show you examples of using the subsystem, but if you just want to inherit the subsystem and all the configs, I don't see how. I'm going to brute force this. And, all right. Subsys, IPC. Pulling from samples. Subsys open. See, it's funny is that it has the RRC table memory region, but nothing showed up in the binary. Maybe because it was empty. If there's no entries, it probably won't load the binary. All right, so I've just applied the overlay portions into the BeagleY-AI. Let's bring in the def config. Do we need config log? I don't think so, because it's just a console. It's not UART console. So this needs to go into our project, though. Yeah, none of those are really, those get to be application. All right, we'll have to just come back to those. Sample subsys IPC open. Kernel bin name? Yeah, maybe. Just leave all these in here. Alright, now we're going to build local. Oh, but these project configs don't go into... Will it inherit on the build? It's probably not going to inherit our local project configs, right? That's probably needs to be part of MicroPython. I'll just hack this in. Modules, MicroPython, lib, MicroPython, ports, Zephyr.
There is an option to use extra conf variable, I think.
In a local build, but where's it going to pull it from? Does it go next to the west.yaml? I just don't know where it goes. Where does the project config
No,
go?
so you pass a variable by dash dash space dash d extra conf equal to path to the
yeah,
other
God.
PRJ conf, I guess.
Okay. That stinks. It's interesting it fails without even getting the configs. Maybe it does pick up the config? It must have picked up the local config without doing anything. But it fails. Or is it just because I removed the
It needs the UART console config variable.
okay, MP console, but oh, okay, so that's part of the that's a dependency on MicroPython. I don't know. Should I just copy it under boards? Oh man. I can't remember all the craziness that goes into this name, this board name. it's just main R5 conf. UI J72SS main R5 conf. Okay. Found it automatically. How can their sample config not include everything that was needed? No, I didn't do West update. I updated Zephyr and didn't do West update. Did I change anything that would have fixed this? Alright, I'm gonna wrap up. So we got a while to rebuild this. It looks like the subsystem adds. Why is it pulling? It's net. So it's pulling IP and DHCP and DNS. Like, how do these subsystems get pulled in? I think it should fail anyway because I don't have the shell backend RP message defined because OpenAMP was not defined. This is Zephyr OpenAMP module needs to be defined, but how would it not be defined in this? It's not. I don't know why this wouldn't be enough because this is the only thing we have to build for the sample. Why this wouldn't have enough configuration to select the module. That doesn't make any sense to me. Why would this be true? Modules kconfig open AMP modules. By what logic? There's no kconfig in here. I don't know why, so it's modules. That's samples modules. So we want to go to samples, just go to modules. IPC, HI. Not subsys. It seemed like it was something that was named modules. Subsys, IPC. Kconfig. Modules, kconfig.open modules. That's subsystems. Where's modules? Oh, here we go. Config. Open AMP. There's a config with no source. Yeah, but why would that just not be set? I don't get that. All right. It's interesting. We got to build. Let's look at. We get even more sections. Important was, did we get a resource table? You do not see a resource table. Oh, where was it? Where was I browsing that? Zephyr open AMP module. think I need that, but I don't see that in the OpenAMP sample code. So why did I get a resource table? Alright, I really gotta stop. One more build. I won't wait for it to finish. Is that a bad idea? Not to pristine. Especially when changing the config. I should calculate dependencies, right? And
That's not a user configurable symbol.
yeah, what's this sysbuild thing? I don't. Maybe that's part of it. In order to include the subsystem. That makes a lot of sense.
For building something outside of Zephyr, I think MCU boot uses it.
Where's the window? How did it open in here? No. Too many windows. Here we go. Sysbuild. Okay. That's building the application. What about the subsystem? Why do we need sys? So I don't know. So what do you know about sysbuild?
It's for multi-image builds. So, like when you want to build MCU boot along with your application, but like that's all I know about it.
Yeah, I think this is a red herring. Um, all right, I'm gonna have Andrew, or yeah, I'm gonna get Andrew on this next time. This is a waste of a lot of time. Thanks, and we'll be back in a week.